And we're back with another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes video. And we're going to go over two things in this video today. We're going to talk about ships, and we're going to talk about the official post posted by EA Jesty on their forum. And then we're also going to look on a file that was exposed on Reddit where they went into the internal data files of the game and they posted it online. And so hopefully between those two pieces of information we'll be able to piece together some clarity on ships. Now, I will say this before we start the video. I did go up to EA, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, and I did see a very early build that had ships. So I kind of knew some of this information in advance, but I'm kind of not going to talk about what I saw because I feel like they're going to change it and maybe some of the information wasn't going to make it to the final build. And the other thing I want to say is that I will be heading up there next week, actually up to Sacramento to the actual Capital Games headquarters where they actually do all the development rather than the EA headquarters, which is in San Francisco, Redwood Shores. So they're going to be able to give me a lot of information there. They're also going to allow us to record new gameplay and things like that, I'm guessing. And so hopefully as soon as things get launched, there'll be a lot of information out. So stay tuned for that. I'm really excited. I had to get a bunch of new equipment, my goodness, so that I could record everything on the fly. I have a good setup here at home, but I had to go get a bunch of stuff so I could do it with a laptop and things. So let's just read this post real quick. And when I'm reading this post, I know a lot of stuff is going to seem obvious, but I'm going to try to point out some things that are a little more obvious to me because I know when I did a ship video before, there were a lot of questions in the comment section that I couldn't really answer even though I knew the answer. And now that they've posted more and more information, I will be able to point that out as we go along. So ships, basically there's going to be fleet commanders. And there's going to be the fleet commander, which is kind of like leadership ability in the game. And they're talking about 3 initial fleet commanders, Admiral Akbar, Tarkin, Mace Windu. Tarkin and Akbar are pretty easy to farm. I think most people have Akbar anyways. Mace is going to be harder to farm. So they're going to have abilities, and basically the fleet commander is going to be like the leadership. Then there's going to be ships that are underneath the fleet commander. So like the only way I can describe that would be like the other 4 heroes in the game. And then there's also reinforcements. Another option available in the fleet commander's term involves reinforcements. When activated, the fleet commander can call in a new ship into the battle to reinforce their fleet. This would replace a destroyed ship with one in the player's reserve rosters of ship. A ship called in as reinforcement comes into battle and immediately takes their turn. By strategically assigning ships to the initial fleet of 5, so there's going to be 5 initially, along with holding back other ships in reserve, a clever fleet commander can keep their opponents guessing and on their toes. So I'm going to guess that this is saying that basically a battle might even involve up to maybe 10 ships. I mean, it says 5, but then reserve. I don't know how many are going to be reserved, but it might be several. And I just wanted to show you a list of ships. My goodness, there's a ton. But look at all these different ships that could be in the game. That's a ton of them. I think I also have a list here. Boy, look at all of these different ships that are in the data files. I won't go over all of them, but you can see there's probably 30 of them. And then we'll talk about how the ships work, how they get activated, and how that works. Now, let's go down a little bit further. It says, one thing we want to clarify is that during the tutorial steps and events for ships, players will be given a certain number of shards of fleet commanders and blueprints for their capital ships. So there's going to be blueprints. Those are going to be like character shards, as well as shards for crew members and blueprints for their ships. So you're going to have a crew member activated to use the ship. And let's just use one that is talked about in here. I think they talk about Biggs Darklighter and his X-Wing 3. So once you have the blueprints unlocked for the X-Wing 3 and you have Biggs Darklighter, then you'll be able to use that ship. And then they can go into battle, and it's going to be fun. So it says, this should be enough to get players at the eligible player level. Plan to currently be 60 to participate in fleet combat. However, the stronger your fleet commanders are, the more effective they will be in battle. So the stronger your fleet commanders are, so that's these guys right here, how strong they are, and I'm going to assume that that's the level that they are, the gear level, the mods on them, will determine how strong the ships are. All right, let's go down a little bit further and say crew. Crews are the characters assigned to the ship that make the the ship usable in a space battle. Some ships only require a single crew member, think X-Wings and TIE fighters, while other large ships may require multiple crew members. So think the Millennium Falcon. So if I was going to guess that they had a Millennium Falcon, there's several variations of the Millennium Falcon, but if you just picked a Millennium Falcon from any one movie and who were the characters in that movie that used the ship, probably those are going to be the characters needed to use the Millennium Falcon. You're going to need all of them, and then that ship will be activated. Each ship and crew members share a one-to-one relationship, meaning that a crew member is only available to crew a specific ship. Big Starklighter will only be assigned to his X-Wing Red 3, for example. We're going to read this, and then we're going to go to Reddit and just take a look at it. Talked about the tutorial. The tutorial text is actually in the game files, and we'll be able to read that. Actually, let's read that now, because I thought that was kind of interesting. Here in the future automated, so this is actual game file text that is in the game, and it says, in time, you'll be able to collect characters and use them to crew your very own ships. Let us show you some of the strategic elements from the game. First, attack the enemy fleet with your ships. Pretty neat, huh? Now it's time to show you the strategic side of the game. Nice work. Try tapping an enemy ship to target it. With an enemy targeted, your ship portraits will now display who is stronger against that selected opponent. That strip was strong against the enemy and does extra damage. Go ahead and finish the rest of the ships now. Remember, ships have powerful effects, special abilities. Be sure to use them when the situation calls for it. Your health is really low. Use your special ability to finish them off. And then this is kind of interesting right here. You unlocked light, dark side ship battles. So there's going to be kind of like in the in-game, there's a light side battles, dark side battles, or there's going to be ship battles. Probably that's where we're going to get the blueprints. Train and promote your characters to increase the power of your ships. Defeating this node will commandeer some X-Wings to further outfit your fleet. Defeat it and head off to the final map. Very cool. So this is going to be an entirely different type of gameplay. I'm really looking forward to that. Starting the crew. At the launch of ships, there will be dozens of ships and crew available. While the ships are not yet out, a majority of the crew characters already available in the game are eligible for character battles, like fleet commanders. Once the ship's features have been fully unlocked, they will have the additional option of crewing their ships in fleet battles. See below for some examples. So there's 4 examples right there. Big Starklighter, Wedge, Empire TIE Pilot, and Ahsoka. So there are a ton of ships, and if you wanted to dig deeper and look at all the ships available, but boy, there are dozens of them. I can see that in the game files right now, there are almost 30 or 40, almost 40 different ships. So this is going to be very deep. There's going to be a lot of different things to do and develop, and I'm excited about it. All right, so stay tuned for next week. Next week, I will be heading up there to see whatever they have. I don't really know what's on the agenda, but I'm guessing that they're going to allow us to record some gameplay of stuff that is not out yet, and they won't let us talk about it or release it until the embargo is released. And so, if you could refrain from asking questions, because they're just questions I can't answer. But this information that is public on Reddit and then also on the forums is kind of showing that with the direction that the game is going, with the ships, fleet commanders, having the pilots for all the different ships, and these battles. From the way it reads on this post, it looks like you're going to need more than 5 ships per battle, a fleet commander and maybe 5 ships, and then reinforcements. And I don't know how many reinforcements, but that could be several, I'm guessing. So we might have like a whole fleet of ships flying at once and attacking each other, and that sounds pretty cool. I'm pretty excited about that. And I just wanted to give a special shout out to everybody on Patreon. Like I mentioned in another video, there were a lot of hidden costs to going to these events, and actually it was costing me out of pocket to go to this event, plus all the equipment. And so I just wanted to thank everybody that is supporting me on Patreon. There's a link right here to Patreon. But more importantly that, I just wanted to thank everybody that likes and watches the videos. That really is the main thing. I just like that you guys enjoy watching them and you appreciate them. And then also there is a link in the description to email fourGinvertedDive. He is recruiting right now for the guild OMG, which I am a member of, and love to see you there. And as always, thanks for watching and keep on gaming.